Hello fellow cultivators. This video is about the Yuanzhi quest chain in the game Tale of Immortal. This is a very early quest where you can actually encounter once you have reached Foundation and you roam around in the Yuanzhi region, and it actually has multiple endings, and technically none of those endings ends up very good. And it is one of those small quests in this game that have nothing to do with the main quest, but in fact, it's kind of unique because it is one of the quests that instead of the developers, they made it, it's actually asked for opinion or for suggestion from the fans, and one of the fans made it, and then the developers incorporated this into the game at some point. It has been there for quite some time. So yeah, so you trigger this by roaming around, and better if you just want to trigger, it's better you roam around near a certain place where it's easy to teleport to, because you will have to come back for quite many times, and if you want to continue the quest, of course. So basically you meet this young girl looking at the lake, lost in thought, doesn't seem to have noticed you, and then of course you can choose to lend a hand when the giant crab comes out to attack her. If you choose get away, you miss this quest completely, so don't choose that. And the battle is not that difficult. I mean, even at Chaos, if you are in Foundation and ready to somewhat in the late Foundation, it's quite easy. I mean, for me, this character is doing very high damage, as you can see. So actually, right now, I just want to learn some B skills from this. So I'm trying to let it live a bit longer. Come on. That B skill I already have. Why don't you try to heal? That's the one skill that I do not. Yes, thank you. Alright. You have outlived your youth. So this actually counts as one of the foundation level mythical beasts if you need those to upgrade your eye. Anyway, you defeat the crab. She said she's a rogue cultivator. Oh, how coincidence. What a coincidence. I'm also a rogue cultivator. And her name is Yuanzhi. She wants you to come to her home for tea. You accept her invitation. Her home looks completely weird. Abandoned village. Completely deserted. And everything is a bit weird, but the woman seemed to be quite calm and normal. And you come in, finish your tea, get her sand, bid her goodbye. Then she asks you a question. Would you be able to answer it? And is the truth a matter important to people? So here, he will ask you this kind of question 2 times, if I remember correctly. I actually not sure if the first time important, but the second time is quite important. You need to answer important or not important in order for you to, proceed. So the point, and let's say we just say that important, then she understands and asks you to out, but she tells you come and visit in some time. And if you seek this, you give you 10 insight. Lasts for 1 year. And you see this little hut where you have triggered this quest. You need to come back to here quite often. So in my case, it's kind of close to this sect. But yeah, you can also leave a teleportation charm here in order to come back. And after this, each time you come back, she will just say, come in and have a seat. And if that month there's no the trigger for the next quest, this is what happens. However, when there's the trigger for the next step of the quest, you will see something different. The first ending, so if you have triggered this event but never come back to the village for like 1 year straight, so basically say 1 year without doing anything, you basically forget about this event, which is probably many people who trigger this event but then completely forgot about it, and then when they come back here, at some point of the game they figure this out. They come to the village but do not see Yuanzhi, and Right after leaving the village, you see a passing cultivator. He tells you a female cultivator who misguided focus on the hallucinations appeared in the area 10 days ago, and now she has been eradicated. And after the cultivator leaves, you are ready to leave, you see a sword stuck to a pile of fallen leaves under a withered old banyan tree. And Yuanzhi, it is her sword. You put the sword here and see the name there, and see the empty house standing alone at the end. So, in this way, you get a spirit sword that Yuanzhi always carries her, and you get this destiny for 1 year, insight +5, travel speed +100, life is impermanent, and the hut disappears. Not a great ending, of course. Come back to the small hut 3 months later, you will find Yuanzhi performing a sword dance. And once you start to talk with her, she will ask you another question. And this question is actually quite important. It depends on which of the endings you will get. At least 2 of the endings are really supposed to get to, depending on what kind of answer you give you here, will or will not. If the research for truth will put you in danger, would you continue your search? So here, I'm going to take will. And in this way, you will again get the secret down. So apart from insight +10, you also got attack +5%. Can be quite useful if you are when you are a foundation to against some difficult enemies. So the first insight +10 and second insight +10 and attack +5, they do stack. And if you choose not, they should be luck +10 and luck +10. So they do stack. So basically it's free 20 insight or 20 luck for you while in foundation. So you can use this while trying to, for example, comprehend the manuals. If you have higher insight, it's easier to comprehend. So yeah. No matter which choice you have chosen after 3 months, now after another 3 months, you come back to the hut. You would see a figure walking towards you, and you see that it is actually Yuanzhi. She seems to be very glad, and she will give you some nice elixirs. She seems to be in good mood. Actually, those were also quite useful while in your foundation battles against difficult enemies or Land of the Arcane. Especially, for example, the attack increase 1, as well as HP and MP, of course. Oh well. Another 3 months have passed. You come back to the village, and you find Yuanzhi with an overwhelming demonic aura comes bursting from the village. And you find countless crushed stones sweep past you as you run. And she is fighting against the fiend, so you have to fight against the fiend. Again, not very difficult fight if you are, but by the way, this is one chance for you to learn the Bambuki skill if you are not playing as a rogue cultist, if you're not playing as in a sect, because Bambuki usually only appears in those sect quests. There's another chance later on in the game, in the She quest, but this is one chance for it to appear. For you to learn skills, or if you have gourd, for you to get a Bambuki. Come on, give me that. Yes. Bambuki skill is very powerful. And after you defeat the Bambuki, you try to save Yuanzhi again, and she was saying she did not expect the monster to find you. And this is the time you will need to make another choice. You stayed by her side for another whole day, and she's asking you a question again. Please wait. Would you help me with something? There's a mountain called Mountain Daogu. Actually, this is a translation which does not really give it a meaning. Basically, it's the way of mind, like that. A monster dwells there. It guards the book, and she wants you to get the book. So here, you can either accept or decline. If you decline, you should go to the third ending. So, let's try decline here. And she seemed to be expecting it. And that's when you come back to here, you still chat with her, etc. And 1 month later, you come back to the village, again do not see her. And suddenly you spot a sentence on the door. And it is her handwriting, and that letter on the table. And you open the envelope, read the words by sunlight through the window. The letter slips your hand and you finish the last word. Oh, kind one, when you read it later, I will no longer be here. Do you remember the question I asked you when I first met? If the truth is important. I don't know how ordinary people think, but for her, seeking knowledge is the only thing she has left. And she found a new way to obtain the answers. She was willing to give up everything, even her life. Even though you do not want to help her, she will go by herself. And in this way, you will get the letter from her, a ring, a blessed heart and stone ring. Well, this is something you will get no matter which, the 3 later endings you choose. Some pills, some money, and you gain this destiny called Yuanzhi's mentor. And in this way, you gain 5% of attack and 5% defense, both for 1 year. Again, pretty helpful if you want to break through to the chicken invasion. And we could just read this letter, and basically it's the same thing. Instead, coming back to where you after you fight a Bambuki, if you choose accept and basically you promise to help her, she will ask you to go to a mountain. By the way, the Bambuki skill last time I forgot to show, which this one quite good. This is something else. Just random event triggers. Now, when you come to the mountain, it looks like the yin energy around the area. There's no sign of life. There's not even monsters. And you came to a cave. And if you wallow only in the shadow cultivation, step not this path by mistake. Of course, we enter the cave. And this is so-called a fight. So it's a blood puppet. However, there's normally when you meet blood puppet on the map, there is a name, and these blood puppets don't have a name. Also, this is the only mythical monster in the entire game won't attack you actively at all. So it does not have the AI to attack you. So this shows there's something a bit weird going on. And I have even tried to wait for ages here, in hope of trigger a secret ending, but you do not attack the blood puppet, because if you finish the quest, you would know who is this blood puppet. But no, there's no such secret ending. And yeah, that goes with hope of actual good ending. So you are forced to kill this blood puppet who can only run from you but not fight back. Feels a bit weird. And once you defeat the blood puppet, you retreat a book. The book is only 2 questions. Examine yourself, but actually it's 问心. Basically, ask your heart. You open the book, there's no words in it. And you can take a look at the book. And as what he said, there's literally nothing. What do you want, may I ask? Basically. Now you come back to the hut. You gave the book to Yuanzhi and she does not tell you what does she want. You just come back, tell her that let's have tea together as usual next time. She just tells you thank you. And after you made that choice, when you roam around on the Yuanzhi region, you can manage to see this event. And it is Yuanzhi walking to waves at you. And do you want to have tea and mind moon with me tonight? You come with her, and You observe as she makes tea, she becomes more thin and pallid. She is almost as white as paper and has dark eye rings. And didn't say anything. After a long time, she would say, I hope you will be able to visit my humble abode in 3 months. Don't forget that. And the sense of her being on your heart. You can ask about her recent response. You ask something happened to her recently, but she does not want to answer. Can I ask you not ask about this matter? You can continue questioning or respect. But even you continue questioning, she still won't say no. And then she will look at you, let out a sigh. Do you remember the question I asked you? And basically, she tells you since her village is destroyed, she left with one thought, seeking knowledge. And that's why she wants you to give her that book. So, you're silent, you want to stop her, but it is a pursuit of her own will. Now, this, you only have this one option if you have chosen. It is important to seek the truth in the second question. And in this way, you are going to the third ending directly. Respect and support her, and she will find out the truth. And she says goodbye. This will be the last time you meet her. May you find your own path. She never looks back. After this event, if you go back to the little abode, little house, you knock the door but you hear no response, so Yuanzhi is not home. And since you have made your choice, now 3 months later, as Yuanzhi have told you, you come back to her village. You go to the outskirts, about to have tea with her, but you sense a powerful evil aura, and you find a monster in the clearing. The monster does not attack you, but you do see a sword nearby. And indeed, as you already knew, it is Yuanzhi after all. She has turned into a monster. That is her. However, this monster will try to attack you. And she even has some fancy skill-ish. And then there's only this kind of fights. It can be actually be a bit more difficult fight if you are not wary. Anyways, let's end her suffering. Oh, what is this? Okay, a jump. And wow, some kind of fancy move. After you defeat her, it seems that the monster looked at you before it died. And you pick up her sword, find a letter. And then, you know what's happened. You sit down, take out the tea set, makes 2 cups of tea, one for yourself, the other you place it in front of the monster. You raise your cup of tea, wisp of steam rising from it, and then you slowly down the tea in one go. So basically, Yuanzhi has sacrificed her life for the truth, and you might wonder why she's so obsessed with the truth. She tells you the story. Basically, she has a twin sister. Her name is Yuanzhi and the sister name is Yuanqiu. And they promised to not leave each other. One night, the sisters saw the village chief return daily from mountain with something in the arms, and then strange things keep happening. The sun disappeared, some people hear eerie screams, some people return home late, see dark shadow monsters, and apparently that's the work of the evil monster. It's looking for people with weak mind. And Yuanzhi was practicing the breathing method left by their parents to protect her sister. Took her 3 years to break through the foundation. She was noticed by a sect, and then she went. On the other hand, her sister did not have any talent. And then, well, when Yuanzhi came to the sect and returned to the village after winning only a fine wall of fire, the ground was soaked in blood, the house was in ruins. And he knows that her sister is gone. And he finds out the village chief's home has several pieces of blood-soaked cultivated clothing. But she did not find the younger sister's body. And then she ignored the sect words, abandoned cultivation of the heavenly way, and just to look for her sister. And she summarized that the item the village chief had brought back to the village years ago might turn his son into a monster. And then the monsters being avoiding villagers and hunting passing cultivators increased the strength. And then she came to the mountain door wall. And the voice comes, want to know where your sister is? Do you want to know the truth behind the massacre village? And all the answers are therein. And then she found a monster on the mountain. The monster stood when it sees her, but eventually Yuanzhi attacked the monster, but the monster protected the item and did not let Yuanzhi touch it, no matter what, and do not try to harm her at all. That is basically what the blood puppet did to us. And basically the blood puppet, it is Yuanzhi's sister Yuanzhi. But she does not want to face the truth, and basically then she started reading the book when you retrieved the book for her. And because her mind also become weakened, so she becomes the new monster, taken advantage by the evil spirit. Well, she does say, please do not mourn her. She's happy she got an answer. After all, you told her that seeking the truth, it is important. And in this ending, you get the book, Scramble Not into Sadness. Same ring, same feels, and pursue not the truth. Attack plus 10%, insight plus 20, lasting 1 year. And also 30 skill points, quite good. Now come back to the second question she asked you. Basically, the 3 months later after you trigger this entire quest. When she asked you if you discover one day your research for truth will put you in danger, would you continue your search? Knowing what this will lead her into, you probably want to choose will not. Truth is not necessity, and if it make you into danger, do not do it. And she sent you off, and in this case, you get to seek not. Defense plus 5% and luck plus 10. So instead of attack plus 10% and insight plus 10, now you have 10 luck. And yeah, as I mentioned before, so previous first one and second buff can stack. And then you just need to go through the same thing. Basically, 3 months later, she gave you the pill. Another 3 months later, you fight the bambuki, retrieve the book for her. I mean, of course, you can also choose not to retrieve the book for her. In that case, you will again get into the second ending. So I will skip all this part for now. Well, since you have chosen that it is not a good idea to seek the truth if it starts to dangerous you, and when you encounter this event again, and you have this option to stop her, to protect her from danger. But of course, in order for this option to appear, not only have to choose that, but when this event happens, you need to keep on questioning, rather than just let it go, accept her, request, and also not just directly say, yeah, respect her opinion. No, so in this time, we will choose stop her to protect from danger. And when you shake slightly, and her smile becomes a little forced. She asks you a question with a trembling voice. Are you stopping me? And yes, of course, we are going to stop her. She said understood, I will do as they say and give up on the answer. You felt as if her soul had instantly dissipated, leaving an empty shell in front of you. The two of you drink tea as usual, but you feel the tea is no longer as sweet as it used to be. And then, when you come to the site, Yuanzhi does not want to see you. And after a few months, Yuanzhi comes to look for you. And this time, instead of drinking tea with you, he brings you a gourd of alcohol. And 2 gourds, actually. She smells at you. Do you want to have some alcohol? She says. And you ask, why not tea? Well, instead of seeking the sweetest thing in the tea, why not seek the fun of drunkenness? So she says, she fills a cup with alcohol and sits next to you. She dries up the cup in her head and let the moonlight illuminate the alcohol. And alcohol seemed to set it on fire, spicy and prickling. It is the first time to discover alcohol can hurt. And then you look at Yuanzhi beside you. Her eyes turn blurry in the fog, as if the past Yuanzhi has died, had been replaced by another person. Please. Under the moonlight, the vast skies are silent. Everything is quiet, and only silhouette people in the fog remain, drinking under the same sky. So this is another ending. You might say this is a good ending because she does not die. But some people claim, no, this is not good ending neither because, she has given up to seek out the truth. Well, you can make your own choice. Life is short and so is youth. Live, friend, pursue not the truth. And thus we finish the last ending. Scramble not to sadness. Defense plus 10, insight plus 20, mood plus 10 every month. Also skill point plus 30, and everything else. And that is the ending of the Jun Yuanzhi quest. All 4 different endings. As usual, thank you for watching, and please consider leave a like, subscribe, or make a comment. And finally, I will see you next time.